Over half the population is going to go through menopause, yet we don't talk about it at home. We haven't learned about it at school. We don't talk about it in the doctor's office. We often feel like our body is betraying us and we don't know who we are anymore.
She's a powerhouse in women's health. Tamsin Fadel is the Emmy-winning journalist and New York Times best-selling author of How to Menopause, fiercely changing the conversation on women's health.
Why is menopause still treated as such a taboo topic?
Ageism and sexism. We've just kind of said goodbye to women after the reproductive years. We look at women that are in midlife and we say, wow, their best years are behind them. And that's kind of what the medical system has done as well.
What are the symptoms? What are women experiencing? What are they going through on a biological and chemical level, but also on an emotional level as well?
Brain fog was the most debilitating of the symptoms. Mood swings, weight changes, joint pain, itchy skin, dryness all over, low libido.
What happens to a woman's sex drive during perimenopause?
Nearly 60% of women say that menopause has negatively impacted their sex life, and I would say that number is even higher. They experience painful sex, there's dryness that happens all over your body, and it didn't feel good.
Why is it doctors still dismiss these symptoms and medical research is not investing more? And the first question I wanted to ask you is, why is menopause still treated as such a taboo topic when it comes to everyday conversation and everyday life?
It's such a great question, and I think I have struggled with it for so long myself. Look, I think it's wrapped up in a few things. I think it's wrapped up in ageism and sexism. And I also think this is a time in life where we've just kind of said goodbye to women after the reproductive years. We look at women that are in midlife and we say, wow, their best years are behind them. Society has done that for a very, very long time, especially here in the US. And that's kind of what the medical system has done as well. So we have put the word menopause and taboo together for so long. And my goal is to separate those two things so we're never saying those two things together.
It doesn't get the spotlight it deserves when every woman we know is going to experience it at some point in their life. And talk to us about how long it lasts. Like just break down the taboo of how long is it going to last? When does it happen? For everyone who's like starting from scratch like me, like what is it like?
Help somewhere. We talked about all sorts of studies. We talked about health studies. We talked about diets. We talked about everything. Menopause and women's health were not the things we discussed. And that goes to your first question about how taboo it has been for such a long time. When I actually found out I was in menopause, I got a very simple note from my doctor saying, in menopause, any questions? And no real answers after that. So I started digging into it to figure out what was going on. And I quickly learned 1 billion women across the world were going to be in menopause by this year. And I thought, okay, well, what is it? So we'll break it down really simply. Perimenopause is that time leading up to menopause. 4 to 10 years of struggle, of hormone changes, of not knowing exactly what's going on with your body, of all different type of symptoms, not just hot flashes. When you hit menopause, that means that you've gone 1 year without your period. And then everything after that is post-menopause. All the symptoms haven't stopped yet, but that could be a third to half of your life that we're talking about. So when you think about how long a woman is going through this transition, this next season, and the fact that we have such little information about it, it was just shocking to me.
And talk to me about what are the symptoms, like what's someone experiencing at this time? Because as a man, we're so disconnected from women's health already. And then this is, like you said, this is a underspoken about area. Like, what are the symptoms? What are women experiencing? What are they going through on a biological and chemical level, but also on an emotional level as well?
I'm glad you said that, because emotional is the big thing. And I think it gets overlooked quite often because we talk about hot flashes and we talk about irregular periods and we talk about brain fog. And I think for me, brain fog was probably the most debilitating of the symptoms because it gets wrapped up with a lot of things. I had anxiety, mood swings. A woman can go through weight changes. When you talk about brain fog, you could be reading a book and not remember the plot of the book. You could be having a conversation like this. I could be sitting here, Jay, across from you 3 years ago. I probably wouldn't be able to have this kind of conversation with you without feeling like, hey, could I stop and try to remember what I was talking about? You go through joint pain. You can go through itchy skin, dryness all over, low libido. So if you think about one day you're going along just fine in life, right? You're in your 30s, you're doing great. You're maybe in the height of your career. You're on your way to wherever you want to be. You're in a relationship. And you might start to see some of these symptoms crop up. You're not sleeping as well anymore. That's a big one. You're gaining weight around the middle, but you've been eating the same and really working out. So you wake up, and what I heard over and over from women when I was researching this is that I don't feel like myself anymore. I look in the mirror and I don't recognize myself. And that to me was one of the most hurtful things that I could hear, because I understood exactly what they were talking about. One day I woke up and I was like, I'm a shell of who I am, and I don't know how to find the light switch in this room. I just am in the dark.
I mean, that sounds like truly one of the most difficult, challenging experiences anyone could go through. And we're saying everyone's going to go through it for nearly a decade, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that every woman we know is going to go through this, the fact that it's going to affect them physically, mentally, and emotionally, to the point that it can be debilitating to how you just spoken about.